How to make your company ethos your ultimate competitive advantage. What is a company ethos? Why is it so important for a company to have a community ethos? Eventually, your customers' employees will forget the accolades and the awards and the ups and downs, but they will remember what it feels like to invest their time and attention into your company. How you make your customers feel is what keeps them coming back to you. A company whose ethos are aligned with their community's emotional experience is one that can experience massive growth. You've been to Starbucks, right? What do you like about the place? What do most people like about Starbucks? They like the relaxed atmosphere, the charging ports for their devices, and that there's no real pressure to buy. The coffee is almost incidental. This reflects a conscious, well-thought-out company ethos that lets people enjoy simply being at Starbucks. This is a company community ethos that clarifies the company's goals and ideals. It is what gives each Starbucks store that energy, that vibe, which we've become used to, have become to expect. Hi, this is Steve Little, founder of the Activist Capitalist, where we help you identify and address any blind spots that hold your company back from activating its community. Having helped hundreds of companies to get 3 to 30 time valuations, many selling for over $100 million, I'll offer you my own insight to help trigger unprecedented value growth for your business so that together we can activate an unprecedented level of problem solving for society. So let's get into it like seemingly casual but completely planned out power meeting at Starbucks. At Starbucks, the coffee is incidental. It's the Starbucks experience that is central to its massive growth. You go there expecting something that you know will always encounter at every Starbucks you go to. Do you think it's something that evolved organically? The creation of this relaxed, welcoming, informal, hip spaces where people can enjoy their coffee uninterrupted, where they enjoy just being, where they can enjoy brainstorming or collaborating? Well, not really. This ties in with a well-thought-out, well-designed plan where all the employees work in a sync to create a company ethos, to become the community's ethos. When Henry Ford said, "Coming together is a beginning, keeping together is progress, working together is success," he was speaking of a successful articulation of community ethos. What does your company community ethos look like? Is this something you've thought about, articulated, or made a conscious decision about? Because let me tell you, if you think that a company's community ethos will simply be left to evolve by itself, you'd be wrong. Left to itself, this ethos may resemble a mismatch of various personality traits, personal idiosyncrasies, and short-term tactics to solve problems in the moment, which can be very dangerous water to swim in as a company. To create and sustain massive growth, your business ethos has to be defined, shaped, and then activated. It has to be embedded into the psyche of your employees so that everything that they do aligns with that ethos, so much so that working according to the ethos becomes second nature to them. Different companies may have different formulas. What works for Starbucks is very different from what works for, say, Dunkin' Donuts. Google is very different, has a very different ethos from Microsoft. And Amazon is very different from Apple. What is common, however, is that the leaders have designed and articulated a community ethos, and this reflects the core values of each company. At Activist Capitalist, our ethos are to raise up companies that raise up humanity. Tony Hsieh of Zappos puts it like this: to make customers happy, we have to make sure our employees are happy first. And this is true. As someone's employer, you have the power and the moral obligation to make people look forward to coming to work in the morning. A big part of this is helping customers and employees alike feel like they're valuable, a valuable part of an organization, and that their contribution is a driver of value which helps the company reach its goals. That sense of belongingness can be fostered by the company community ethos that I'm speaking about. If character determines the destiny of individuals, for companies, it is the community that determines destiny. Corporate community ethos is a sustainable competitive advantage that every business owner has the power to create and perpetuate. Concentrate on developing a strong corporate ethos by keeping these 5 things in mind. Number 1, creating a community ethos is much more than just trying to get your team to act the way you want them to. Your employees bring with them their unique habits, temperaments, belief systems, attitudes, and so much else. They come from different countries, races, backgrounds, genders, and generations. To get so many diverse people to follow and be enthusiastic about a common model is challenging. Start by valuing the distinct contributions each one can make coming from their diverse mindsets and places. An activated leader casts the staff such that he or she can draw on the strengths of their diversity. Activated leaders see diversity of all kinds as a huge value driver. They make it work for their company. They make it work for them. To get them to be how you want, you will first need to see them for who they are and meet them there. Only then can you get them to share your vision. Number 2, involve your people in the process. An ethos that is forced upon people will not work. So instead, foster a spirit of collaboration. An activated leader involves his community in defining the ethos. A community that feels ownership over it will stand behind it. It's human nature. That which we don't collaborate on, we tend to be critical of, because it feels like that's how we add value to it. What we do collaborate on, we add value to it by contributing to it. Activated leaders carry their people along rather than impose something from the top down. Don't enforce, collaborate. Let your people own the company ethos. Not only should they feel part of it, they should ideally feel that the ethos is of their own making. As author and digital marketing expert Vala Ashraf says, culture is what happens when managers leave the room, doing what's right in the absence of authority. So if your people co-create, they own the company ethos, and it becomes self-regulating and self-perpetuating, a way of life. Number 3, activate and remain activated. If you see something happening in your company that's off your community ethos, and if you ignore it, this will create a new sub-community. It's not in the interest of your company to permit sub-communities to evolve. Remain alert to and don't ignore things that go against the ethos. Articulating and maintaining a company culture is a continuous, ongoing process that benefits from a dynamic, activated leader who can bring the straying members back into the community. Just like Starbucks, they had an unfortunate incident and received some bad press. But to their credit, they did take prompt corrective action to bring the team back into alignment with their values and restore the community's trust in their company. Number 4, remain flexible and open to evolution. Future innovation is rooted in a company's community culture. This is why entrepreneurs must concentrate on creating a company ethos that is able to evolve with changing requirements. In this sense, your community ethos is more of a moving target than a fixed bullseye. There may be times when market changes require a policy shift, which in turn may refine or even redirect your company ethos. Permit this change to occur. As an activated leader, bring in the whole community to participate in these shifts so they can eventually take ownership of these shifts. Being rigid will be counterproductive, and it will cost you. Your ethos has to be growth-oriented. To this end, it must remain flexible and open to evolution. Number 5, know when to step back. While your company ethos has to stem from you, it must bear the stamp of your own values and principles. You cannot adhere to it rigidly even in the face of crisis. If your business is on the verge of failing because you insist on standing by your ethos at all costs, then you've missed the point. While it's important to remain an involved, activated leader, there may be times when a lighter, hands-off type approach may work better and help an employee learn on their own. Remember, you have to take your people along. Communing is a collective phenomenon, a natural and organic creation rather than one person's vision being foisted on the rest. Your company community ethos will help you attract top talent, retain great employees, and ensure that your people always give their best to their job. A great community ethos is vital for building a great company, but it's not the only thing. A great product or service is central to the success of the ad enterprise. It has to be a product or a service that people want and that sets you apart from the others. To dive deeper into the Starbucks example, the ambience of the Starbucks store and the experience are great, but the coffee's great too. In fact, it's the rich aroma of coffee that drives so many people into Starbucks in the first place. Even though I said that the coffee was incidental, it's still central to the experience. As you develop and nurture your company ethos, keep in mind that your products and services also express your company's ethos. Your company's community ethos starts with how you choose to treat your people, and this in turn impacts everyone and everything. How they feel is what keeps them there. This feeling of belonging, of being one with the company community ethos, will decide whether your people will stay or leave. It is this ethos that gives your people a purpose beyond just doing a job or beyond just buying a product. It is the feeling that they belong to a worthy organization, one that helps to make a positive difference in people's lives. To carry forward that Starbucks example, the Starbucks store. Well, we're hard-pressed to even call it a store when that's technically what it is, a store. But to the community, it's a welcoming place to work where people enjoy being, enjoy visiting, enjoy collaborating, enjoy creating. Putting a smile on the customer's face as they sip the much-needed first strong, fragrant beverage of the day is a good feeling. Being the customer sipping that elixir is a good feeling too. But what really makes a difference is knowing that one is safely partaking in an organization that is loved and respected everywhere, one that is synonymous with giving people satisfaction, and that is a very good feeling. If you haven't thought about, defined, and articulated your company's community ethos, activate yourself to do that as a leader and activate your people. Take them along, mindful of their aspirations and contributions as you formulate your company's ethos. Lead by example. Live your community's values. Don't just sell a product or service, walk the talk. Be as you expect your people to be. I'll close with this. Corporate ethos is a sustainable, competitive advantage that every company owner has the power to create and perpetuate. Corporate ethos increases the value of your company through increasing the value to humanity. It's the activist capitalist way.